quick plenary session, as it's known. It's an interesting mix of behavioral economics, education, health, and the technology that enables all of these things. I wanted to address a point that you mentioned right at the end, and I'm going to pass it to Tamés for his opinion, actually, because as you were saying it, I thought, I want to ask Tamés whether or not this is the case. Is it actually the deal that actually anything is possible? It's just the need for people to understand how to do things, or are there limitations that are fundamental to the technology and the ability that we have right now that need to mature, or can we leapfrog such maturation? Is everything possible if we just knew how? And that's to you first.
So you're making me be a pessimist. No, I don't think everything is possible. I think there are absolutely huge amount of limitations out there. I mean, I think what you guys are doing is an important step, though, in identifying, isolating what the limitations are. Where, I mean, sometimes we talk about them as inefficiencies in a system. And the opportunity is to use technology to deliver to technology traditionally, the cliche is it routes around the problem. So if you can identify the impediment or the obstacle and then use technology to route around the problem, that creates an efficiency where before there was inefficiency. So I think that's what you guys have identified. I think that's the objective of using mobile technologies in global health, is to deliver information more efficiently. And that is huge. It doesn't make everything possible, but it makes a great many things possible now.
Okay, and Adele, your take on the kind of the developing world side of things and the opportunities that are now enabled, would you say that, and this isn't to force pessimism, which Tamés wasn't intentional, but nonetheless, yes, the interpretation could have been forced pessimism. Adele, on your side, is the main activity in those with in areas of the greatest need or the greatest lack? Or do you think that the work that you do could be applied to what is considered to be the developed world? Or is it exclusive to the harder to reach parts?
Sure, no, it's a good question.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. But I think that the last point I was making about innovation coming from the developing world and the role that that innovation can play in environments where you have people who are using mobile phones because there are not other kinds of technology available is important because there's a lot of workaround solutions that people will develop using mobile phones because they don't have access to the landlines or the computer desktops that we use every day in the office. And so I think, yes, there is a lot of activity happening in those areas, and there's a lot of innovation there that can apply certainly in the developing world, and I think mobile health is a great example where there's a lot that's happening. Kenya is a leader, Senegal is a leader in these contexts, specifically because that's the hardware that's available and there are many needs.
Okay, and Aape, if you had a wish list of who you'd like to cooperate with so that you can apply your world-changing baby steps on a greater scale, this is a slightly loaded question because I think one of the people that would be of potential partnership is sitting to your right. Who do you need to outreach to and cooperate with so that what your work can be spread to a wider scale?
Thanks for the question. The right answer is people who do. There's a significant amount of energy that boils and says is about to do stuff, but the ones who deliver. You know, if there's an ice hockey game, the last seconds on the clock, the coach doesn't need to select the team. The team that wants to score is already out on the ice. That's sort of the quality. It is so easy to say that I will do something good. We all, you get the, she's doing good. The frustration lies within that the feedback loop that Tamés so well, and I loved your talk, the one that is missing from us easily is the feedback loop, because what we're doing is so good. So people who do and achieve and deliver and are not afraid of failing. Because technology in this mere space of delivering learning it's just an opportunity for people themselves to open their eyes and grasp the opportunity if they themselves so wish. We don't know whether it works. It's up to them.
There's a great phrase which is inspiration without execution is hallucination.
Yes.
And it's one of those. Enrique, are you now actively applying what happened in the 6 weeks to the future of the school?
Yeah, we have already a plan to scale this. In September, we've been working right now with 200 students. Now in September, if everything goes okay, we will be working with 2,000 students. Okay, that's
That's the research
huge
bit,
growing. Yeah. So, and we also need a lot of support for this. Not only teaching math, we want to start teaching Spanish, literature, and health as well. So if everything goes right, in a couple of years, we'll be delivering all this for 4th, 5th, 6th grade, all of these subjects. And again, this is going to be a great ally, this technology stuff.
Okay, and now this is one for you guys to all discuss, but I'll drop the thing in the middle of that. A cynic, or perhaps naive, slightly naive cynic, could argue that actually the stuff that you have all discussed is so evidently beneficial to society that there should be some greater governmental support or legislative support. And if that isn't in place, why is it not? And I'm now going to leave you four to discuss.
Well, I mean, I guess to me, there's. I mean, this is the American in me, so you'll apologize for it, or I'll apologize for it. But if government, I don't think you need government until there's proven failure. The government kind of needs to intervene when there's market failure, and in these cases, I think there are emerging markets where education is a market, health is a market. And there are ways to work with governments and use infrastructure and things like that. But I think there's a huge opportunity for private enterprise to actually catalyze these things and bring them to people much quicker and more efficiently than governments could.
I think that we have to get out of the box. Governments very difficultly get out of the box. They have been successful in modern times for 300 years, but right now we need different kind of solutions to the world. So the farther I'm from government, the better I feel, because this means that I'm out of the structure, and if we want to change things in a very dramatical way, we can do it inside of the box. We have to get out there.
I agree that there's absolutely a role for the private sector, even in development projects, but more so than just the private sector, you need to have a good partnership of different sectors, real cross-sector collaboration, people from different communities coming together, exchanging ideas, but the private sector is really important for driving scale. Coming back to the UN perspective and what's the appropriate role for governments, the UN is of course an intergovernmental organization, but what we've seen through our work and our partnership with the Vodafone Foundation is that by providing a revenue stream to allow the UN to experiment with technology and to innovate, we've provided them a real service, because most UN budgets do not have a line item for innovation. So that's really valuable. I think that's one of the most important things that the UN Foundation can do for the UN when it comes to technology, is identify partners like Vodafone and others who are willing to stand by us and fund these kind of activities, whether through a financial donation or through in-kind support.
Yeah, I'd say that the only way, the only place, the only situation that causes governments to react fast and efficiently is war. And if you think about the fact that this is education, health, and development of financial structures, is in fact, we're in a battle situation. It is, dear people, evil exists. Delivery of these things that we're discussing here is a war against evil. Primary education is a business that is bigger. $2 trillion euros a year are spent. It's more money that is spent on education on that level than is spent on military equipment globally. If all governments were to declare a war against these things, something would happen. But as long as incompetent, democratically chosen people get to make decisions that they're afraid to make, because they could fail, I'm afraid that this will be blah, 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 and my children will continue in a world that will be a more aggressive, violent, and worse place. And I'm being an optimist.
Yes. Final closing comment from you, Thomas, I think.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm struck by the way that mobile, thinking about all these things, I'm struck by the way that mobile is a platform for all sorts of initiatives and goals. I mean, I think that it is, you know, I get the question a lot: is technology a positive or a negative thing? And you know, one of the things I need to remind people is it's agnostic. Technology is amoral. It is a vehicle for whatever you may want to do. And I think we're just getting to the point where we're realizing that mobile has some profound opportunities to put things into effect. I mean, I think, for instance, you know, with healthcare and education, which are the two areas in the economy that are the last ones to get technology. Healthcare is traditionally just bereft of consumer technologies, innovative technologies, education likewise, and we're finally taking them on. We're finally realizing that you can apply technology to these areas and that they scale. And that bringing mobile technologies into health and education is not a have or have not thing, but because of the basically affordability and scalability of mobile now, you can really put them into effect as catalysts for getting things done. And I think this is only probably the start of what we're going to see.
Okay, well done. Thanks to the panel, to Aape, to Adele, to Enrique, and to Thomas. Thank you very much.